Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss the formation of an image by a spherical refracting surface using a matrix method. So the specialty about this method is that we are going to find out the image representation where in the form of a matrix, okay, for a particular spherical surface. So for that we need to draw a ray diagram. So suppose that we have a spherical surface like this, okay, and this is the means optical axis or principal axis for the spherical surface. And suppose that a ray of light is coming out of the point O and it is moving like this, okay, and this point is called A dash just before refraction. Suppose that this particular spherical surface is separating two media, okay, this is of refractive index n1 and this is of refractive index n2. Now just after refraction it goes like that, okay, and let me denote this point like image, okay. This is I for image, O for object. So a double dash is the point, is just after, it is the same point at the same height, but it is just after the refraction on the spherical surface, okay. So I will name this the image. So obviously this is the object distance and this is the image distance. So I will denote it by U sign convention I am using, and this is plus V, okay. So that's all we have for the spherical representation. Now we will need to do it step by step. So first of all we will be doing for OA dash, okay. So it is for from while going from O to A dash, what happens, whatever happens is called translation, because there is no change in the medium, that is called translation, okay. Now one thing that I would like to tell all of you, that suppose that O, the coordinate of the point O is basically denoted by, okay, I will write down the coordinates one by one. Suppose the first coordinate O is actually lambda 1 and x1, okay. So lambda 1 is, all of you know that optical direction cosine. Similarly x1, you know that x1 is nothing but the height, okay. Similarly we have A dash. So for A dash the point is basically represented by lambda dash and x dash. Then similarly A double dash means lambda double dash x double dash. These things we have already discussed in our previous videos, how to represent the coordinate of a ray of light at the points. These are the coordinates of the ray of light at the point O, then at the point A dash, then at the point A double dash, and then at the point I. So you can see that at I the coordinate is given by lambda 2 and x2, okay. So that's about the coordinates, and the coordinates, how the coordinates are represented, they are already described in the previous video, so I won't go much into that. So now let us write down for O dash A dash, okay. Now for O dash A dash, you can see the initial thing is this one and this is the final thing, isn't it? So final coordinate is nothing but lambda dash x dash, okay. And what happens, and initial coordinate is lambda 1 x1, okay. So here whatever happens, that is called translation. On this particular coordinate, translation happens, then only you get this coordinate, okay. So this is represented like that. So this is the initial coordinate, this is the initial coordinate of the ray of light at the point O. So on this what happens, translation happens, then we get the final coordinate. So this is the way of representing the matrix, okay. So this is basically represents the point O, this basically represents the point A dash, that's what I want to. And for to go from O to A dash, what happens in between, that is called translation. So that is why we are writing the matrix representation like this. I hope it is clear to all of you. When we will do the further steps, then it will be much more clearer to you. So this is the first step, okay. So now we need to write down the translation matrix for this particular case. So lambda dash x dash is equal to translation matrix 1 1 will always be there. So here it is 0, and here you remember it was d by n, okay, distance by n. So d, so distance in this case, what is the distance traveled in this case? It is nothing but minus u. So it is minus u divided by n1, because the refractive index traveled in this case is n1. So it is n1, and now we have lambda 1 x1. So that's all we have for the ray from O to A dash. So let me remove these things, these are totally unnecessary. Now we have already shown it. Okay, now for next step is what? A dash to A. Okay, to go from A dash to A, what happens? So for A dash to A, so this is A dash to double dash and A double dash. So this is the final. See, A double dash is the final, A single dash is the initial now. Okay, so or you can say that this is the input, this is the output. So output is A double dash. So output is A double dash and input is A dash. Now when going from A to A dash to A double dash, what happened? The refractive index changed. So that is called refraction. So it is refraction. Okay, so let me write down. What was that? It was lambda double dash x double dash lambda dash x dash. Okay, that's what we have. Now I will remove these unnecessary things. So lambda double dash x double dash is equal to refractive index, matrix for refraction. So it is again 1 and 1. Obviously the determinant is equal to 1, so it happens like minus p and this is 0. So if you don't remember the refraction matrix, you can turn back to your notes from previous series and then you can understand. Okay, so where p is nothing but the power of that particular lens or source, that refracting surface. So what was p, that also has been mentioned several times in the notes as well as in the video. So you can, if you don't remember, you can go back and check. Okay, now next thing that we have is, so this is for A dash A double dash. Okay, then for what is the last stage? So let me remove those unnecessary things again. Okay, so now next thing is A double dash to I. So A double dash to I. So we are almost, I means image. So we are at the image, almost we have reached. Okay, the final stage. So here look at the diagram. Now A double dash is now the input. Okay, and I dash is the output. So I will be, so here whatever is that, I is the output, so it is equal to, and A double dash is the input now. And you see in the diagram, while going from this again. So while going from A double dash to I, what happened? That whatever happened is called translation. Okay, so this matrix is nothing but the translation matrix. So for A double dash, it is lambda double dash x double dash. Okay, and this is lambda 2 x2, and this is translation matrix. I don't think this is required now. So lambda 2 x2 translation matrix, again 1 1 will definitely be there, 0, and this is usually d by n. Now in this case, what is the distance traveled for translation? For distance traveled for translation is nothing but this distance, it is called v. Okay, and what is the refractive index? This is n2, so it will be v by n2. Fine. So let me write it down, write all of that simply. Okay, So first that we have got, I will write very small letters so that you can understand, is equal to 1 0 minus u by n1 1, and it goes to lambda 1 into lambda 1 x1. Then you have for lambda 1 lambda dash double dash is equal to one minus p 0 1 lambda dash x dash. Okay, this is the second statement. Okay, then let us write down, then lambda 2 x2 is equal to, that we have got 1 0, this is v by n2. Okay, so this is the third statement. So we will combine all of this. So yes, it is the double dash, double dash. Okay. So if we combine all of this, what happens? So you see, this one will come from here, so it will be 1 0 v by n2 1. So lambda double dash x dash means 1 minus, you need to be very careful while writing the matrix, they should not touch each other, letters, there should be a gap. Okay, then lambda dash x dash. Okay, now we need this can be put from here, so it will be 1 0 v by n2 1 1 minus p 0 1. Okay, and this is nothing but 1 0 u by n1 1 0 minus u by n1 1, and that goes to lambda 1 x1. Okay, so that is nothing but lambda 2 x2. I hope this is fine for all of you. We have just done some multiplication. Now if you multiply all this matrix multiplication, I hope all of you know I am not supposed to do it here. Okay, one by one you can multiply. So if you do the I would like to suggest, do the multiplication steps in detail. Okay, because in exam you can't remember everything. So if you multiply them, it will come out to be 1 plus pu by n1 minus p, then v by n2 1 plus pu by n1 minus u by n1 1 minus vp by n2. Okay, so and it goes like lambda 1 x1. So you can understand, this is the object, isn't it, and this is the image coordinate. See, so if you know the coordinates of the object, okay, you can find out the coordinates of the image, how the image will be formed, what will be its height, what will be the angle. Okay, so this thing you can remember, you can measure. Okay, so this is the final that matrix that we are supposed to have. If you can remember this matrix easily, then it is okay. Otherwise I would like to suggest all of you to do the matrix multiplication in detail. I hope you have done it in your HS classes already, how to multiply matrix. So you should get this result. Okay, and if you don't get this, just let me know. Okay, So yep, so if I want to simplify it further, so lambda 2 x2, okay, so if I want to multiply them, what will be that? 1 plus pu by n1, okay, into lambda 1 minus px1. Similarly, v by n2 into 1 plus pu by n1 minus u by n1, this thing, into lambda 1 plus 1 minus vp by n2 into x1. So that is a multiplied matrix we have. So can we compare the elements? This is the element, this element. So since these matrices are equal, so we can compare the elements. So we have lambda 1 equal to 1 plus pu by n1 lambda 1 minus px1. Similarly, x2 is equal to v by n2 1 plus pu by n1 minus u by n1, okay, into lambda 1 plus 1 minus vp by n2 into x1. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, so let me give some equation numbers. Okay, that it be equation number. From the beginning I will give some equation number. Suppose this is the equation number 1, this is the equation number 2, and this is the equation number 3, and this is the equation number 4, this combined one, okay, and then equation number 5, and these are equation number 6, this is 7, and this is 8. Fine. So we have now we have, if we for axial points, okay, axial points mean any point which is lying on the principal axis or on the optical axis. So for that, x is basically equal to 0, means height, okay, because you remember the coordinates are generally represented by like this. So this represents angle and this represents the height, x represents the height. So if the point is on the axis only, the object is on the axis, then there is no need to get the height, okay. So that is equal to, approximately equal to 0. So for if the object is an axial point, so here what should happen? x1 should be equal to 0, means looking back to the diagram, this one, this thing will not be in this in this height, okay, it will be like this. Fine. So for this there is no height, so x equal to what? 0, or x1 equal to 0. Let me clear this diagram, so many things are there. Okay, so for axial point, x1 equal to 0, so it implies x2 equal to so if you so if x2 equal to 0, and for any point object which is on the axis, the image will also be on the axis. So x2 is also approximately equal to 0. This is for the image. So from a ray which is emanating from the axial point object, the image plane is also determined by the coordinate x2 equal to 0, means it will also be on the axis only, it cannot have cannot be beyond that, okay. So it implies, what it implies then, 0 is equal to v by n2 1 plus, see, you are applying some boundary condition only, you are not generalizing it, lambda 1 plus 0. So what happens? So lambda 1 cannot be equal to 0, so only option is what? V by n2 1 plus pu by n1 minus u by n1 is equal to 0. So ultimately we have u by n1 equal to v by n2 into 1 plus pu by n1. Okay, so u by n1 equal to v by n2 plus p u v, sorry, p u v by n1 n2 . So what we can do, divided by multiplied by n1 n2. Okay, so if you multiply both the sides by n1 and n2, what will happen? n1 n2 u by n1 equal to n1 n2 v by n2 plus p u v n1 n2 by n1 n2. So this two gets cancelled. So it is u n2 equal to n1 v plus p u v. Okay, so again I will divide both sides by uv. So u n2 by uv equal to n1 v by uv plus p ub by uv. So what remains? vv goes, u goes. So it is n2 by v minus n1 by u is equal to p. That is nothing but n2 minus n1 by r. So this is the equation number 9. Okay, so this is nothing but the where p is again representing the power of that particular refracting surface. So going back to the equation 7, so you can see this is the equation, sorry, going back to the equation number 5. Going back to the equation number 5, what changes that will occur there? You see, this thing is nothing but now 0. Okay, because here you have seen that this thing has become equal to 0. So this is 0 means in equation number 5 this thing is equal to 0. So this is not there. So equation number 5 simplifies. Therefore equation 5 simplifies to. So what is that simplification? Lambda 2 x2 is equal to 1 plus p u by n1 minus p 0 1 minus v p by n2, and then you have lambda 1 x1. Okay, so finally we can again write 1 plus pu by n1 into lambda 1 minus p x1, then 0 plus 1 minus vp by n2 x1. Okay, so it is lambda 2 x2. So comparing the elements, this element can be compared with this element, this element can be compared with this element. So x2 is nothing but 1 minus vp by n2 into x1. Fine. So x2 by x1 is nothing but 1 minus vp by n2. So this x2 by x1, x2 is the height of the image and this is the height of the object. This is nothing but called magnification. Okay, magnification is given by 1 minus vp by n2. So that's all. So what we got, so this thing is already shared in the note. Okay, so while watching the video, you just compare this explanation along with that note that has been given to you. And if you have any doubt regarding this derivation, you can just drop a message or WhatsApp as well as email or in Google Classroom.